what the Rock is cooking.
Recording live from three locations, not in Utah.
This is Past the Rock.
My name is Patrick, and as always, I am joined by two great men, the first of which is going to be, drumroll, Jacob, a.k.a. Bethke.
Firm believer in all things Aramaic, or however you might pronounce that. Happy to be with you boys today. Here celebrating 9/11. Never forget.
I don't think we celebrate.
We mourn.
9/11.
We mourn it. That's true. We don't celebrate
we
it.
Celebrate the memory of those lost.
Definitely that. We celebrate the event that started. What's it called? The guy from the Daily Show being more important than our politicians. So that was crazy.
Idiocracy.
Yeah.
And also, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Caesar, a.k.a. LCs.
What it do, y'all? I was gonna say something witty, but what you said at the beginning threw me off. So I'm that was good.
Just
It's topical.
Just making sure we're all clear.
Yeah, we don't even have any viewers there. So as far as we know,
I don't believe we do.
No.
Yeah. So
on one hand, it was a great day for the Texas Rangers. On the other hand, it was a bad day for some of the Texas Rangers.
For most of the Texas Rangers. Yeah, and just we'll kick it right off kind of there. And full disclosure, to anybody watching, you're just going to watch my energy levels deplete as we go because I just spent the last 36 hours in Arlington.
That's a beautiful thing you've done.
Living it up. Excuse me, had a burp. Helping the boys finish off a sweep against the best team in baseball, actually.
Nobody knows. Patrick was actually in the dugout.
Today I was... Well, I guess not, because I was on the right field side. I was going to say I was about as far away as you could possibly be, but no, I was in right field, so I wasn't as far away as you could possibly be, no matter how high up we were. Using the free tickets I got today for my Victory Plus signing up way back when.
Nice.
Didn't think about the fact whenever I was picking what game that it was a Wednesday.
During the day?
I was going to be dead. I knew it was a day game. I did that on purpose.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, when can I take off work? Well, September works.
Right,
so I just grabbed it. And Brewers I don't think I've ever seen them live. Maybe, but I don't remember definitely not when they were actually competent and good.
The Brew Crew is probably not one I've ever gotten to.
They were represented well, I gotta say, because of where I was sitting today up in the right field porch, the very first pitch, that was a home run. The loudness of the Brewers fans in the stadium made me think we caught the ball and they were celebrating the out. So I'm like starting to clap. And I'm like, oh, he's still running.
That's unfortunate, but it's a day game. A lot of sports fans in the greater Wisconsin area got they take a little time off. Some of them are probably Packers fans, so it's probably like, oh shit, let's go over to see where we won the Super Bowl one time.
I didn't see it today. I didn't even think about that. I didn't see it today, but definitely last night, because I went to the game last night as well. Definitely saw a couple people with actual cheese heads on.
Yeah. Well, especially after what just happened. They're definitely coming down here proud, bro.
So I'm sure there's a decent amount of just permanent transplants here from the area. But
Dallas's motive.
They were represented well, even in the hotel me and Stephanie stayed at last night. The Drury, D-R-U-R-Y.
Oh, the Drury.
Drury. Very
it's
nice
a
place.
Name.
Yeah, definitely not one you're going to be able to say with any kind of Southern accent properly.
It also doesn't inspire confidence because dreary is the word that conjures into my brain.
Something about the way it's spelled though. I like it. Drury. It was a nice place. The free breakfast was cool. They gave us a thing when you check in. They're like, oh, here, you can take this during dinner and get 3 free drinks at the bar. But of course, the hotel dinner is 5:30 to 7, and that's not. No one's in a hotel from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. So
that's how they win.
Didn't get to take advantage. And not a lot of resale value since they write the exact date on it. But yeah, so the Rangers, I already buried them, but they're coming out of the ground like Uma Thurman and Kill Bill.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that there is more to do with 2023 than we've thought about, because I also remember being at a point where I both wrote them completely off despite a great start to their season, and got to the same point I'm in now, where almost any time I actually put eyes on the regular season Texas Rangers, it's bad. And then almost the second that I stop, it's good. And I almost think it's a way of sports gods of being like, this is what you get for not sticking through. And it's like, I'm a Cowboys fan. This is not fair. Like, resilience isn't part of the equation, man. Like, this isn't something we learn how to do. So I think this is a good thing. I still feel like if this team makes the playoffs, I don't know. I still have a lot of skepticism there, but I would like to at least do that.
It hurts a lot more not having Uvalde. They say that he could possibly be back during part of a playoff run, but I'm not banking on that for sure.
Yeah, they're being hopeful. That's nice.
And even more wild, this recent stretch is happening without the likes of Corey Seager, Marcus Simeon, Adelise Garcia. They're all
kind of the part that we were all.
They're all hurt.
I hate that.
Corey was fine.
But this
Simeon was starting to play better.
No, but there was an itch that needed to be scratched, I felt, and this one came a little sooner than we thought. I don't know how real these guys are long term, but it's been nice. Yeah,
a lot of people way too prematurely already calling Michael Hellman the new Evan Carter.
Oh, love that.
So where did Hellman
yes
come
and no,
from?
You get a World Series, but then he's can never play again, so I don't know.
Yeah, right. That's true.
That Hellman last name keeps throwing me off because I'm like, why are people so obsessed over David Hellman right now? And then I'm like, right. Rangers, Michael Hellman.
He would have been better for it, but now Hellman's big time, right? I think he works for Fox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was like a Cardinals guy that got cut. Was he just a draft pick that didn't pan out, and then we end up getting him? Because I know that I saw a tweet about how the Rangers wanted him originally, but the Pirates picked him up, and then they were able to get him anyway.
Drafted by the Twins in 2018. He was there for a while.
Gotcha.
Then in February of 2025, this year, he was traded to the Cardinals in exchange for cash. He was optioned to AAA Memphis. He didn't do very well down there, and then we took him off. Sorry, the Pirates claimed him off the waivers in May.
Right.
He never played a game for them, and then 2 days later, we picked him up.
Yeah. Oh, it was only 2 days? Oh, my God. Somebody tweeted that like it was this big, like, patient waiting game from the Rangers to get their guy. And I guess there was, but
they didn't take him off the waivers the first time.
No, they tried. But they were outranked, is from what I understand.
Yeah.
That was their goal the first time.
They stayed patient, and he was still there, I guess, is the idea. But no, he's been incredible, making over the wall catches, hitting the only grand slam the team has all year. Little stuff like that.
Turning the game a couple times this last week. What about Freeman? Freeman was one of our kids that's just finally grown up and getting an opportunity.
No, I'm pretty sure we picked him up from someone else's system.
Okay, so this is really just Chris Young doing what I used to do best in fantasy football.
No, I might be wrong here. One second,
just scrappy bit up.
Yeah, we drafted him in the fourth round of 2019. For some reason, he just screams Dodgers prospect to me. Probably she's a white guy with a forearm tattoo. Something about that makes me think of LA. But yeah, no. So there's a homegrown guy born 8 months before 9/11.
On theme.
Yeah, our 24th anniversary 9/11 show that we're doing right now, apparently.
Never forget. Not even on the 24th.
Interesting notes from the games. No God Bless America both nights, so they must be saving something big for tomorrow.
Why? Wait, so then what did they do during the seventh inning stretch? Or nothing?
Well, I mean, take me out to the ball game, and then did a Cotton Eye Joe thing.
The Rangers are woke now?
They are decidedly still not woke. There was an event at Texas Live today, a private event that I think was the Dallas Republicans. I might be wrong about who that was.
You'd be surprised.
But I couldn't go inside of Texas Live before the game. Had to go to. They had just like one open bar on the outside, and I'm sure that dude was just making bank.
Yeah, for sure.
Running his ass off.
That's really wild. I didn't realize they rented out all of Texas Live.
Somebody did.
Damn.
Yeah, and I guess they were thinking because it's a day game, they weren't going to lose too much pregame money.
No, it's great fucking business for them, for sure. So I guess my other question, my second statement here it's now officially the Wyatt Langford Texas Rangers.
He's something else, man. He's absolutely incredible. He's over a 5 WAR, at least in B WAR. I think F WAR he's a little lower because his defense isn't quite as solid.
He seems
as the
to be
top of the top
fine
guys.
if he's not in center field. From what I'm just
It's
noticing,
just once every other
I don't know
game
if I-
he might take a bad path that leads him to dive and miss a ball. It doesn't happen
Yeah.
that often, but just more often than your best of the best players do.
I won't pretend like I'm crushing film like everyone that probably knows these things, and I'm sure the stats probably can just tell you, but it does feel like it almost always happens when he's center field.
Probably, and he maybe shouldn't be out there just because we have some slightly faster guys who that's kind of their slot. Hellman seems to be handling it pretty well so far.
Hey, for real.
Yeah, I mean, no Tavares, but maybe that's Hellman's role now. Is Tavares' role from a couple years ago.
Or even better, free agent acquisition. But that's we'll save that. I'm not getting ahead of myself on free agency and trades because the Rangers have life still.
No, there's 4 series left. 5 series.
Where are we
left.
again in the standing? Where are we in the standings right now?
Yeah, so depending on what Houston and Seattle do tonight, we're either going to be 2.5 back of Houston and 1.5 back of Seattle, or potentially closer to both. We could be a half of game back of Seattle and 1.5 back of Houston if they both lose tonight. We still have 3 against Houston. We also end the season against Cleveland, who's still kind of trying to fight for that 3rd wild card spot. So the Rangers need to do a lot of winning. I think in the last 16 games, they've gone 12-4, and they've only made up 3 spots or 3 games. So they pretty much need to replicate that or better.
Yeah, they literally to keep a crazy winning percentage.
It's possible. They got Thursday off, then they're headed to New York for a 3-game set with the Mets, which will include DeGrom pitching in his old stomping ground. So that's kind of a cool little story within the story. Take 2 or 3 of those, and then things look real good going to Houston right after that. So
so looking
Papa
at
Molly,
the
I'm sweating. What's up with him? We're never getting him back. But he went sneaky back. Like Evaldi got announced, Bradford got announced after a little bit, but he got announced.
2 weeks ago he was throwing off the mound
because they kind of need him. I mean, Latz is fine. It's been good. I guess that's a good thing to have. But if this is going to get frisky, you're looking at DeGrom, Leiter, Kelly. Wait, also, what about Kumar?
Okay,
Kumar got shut down sneaky too, right?
I don't know how sneaky that one was, but we probably didn't cover it too well.
Yeah.
Molly's making an additional rehab start on Friday. So likely he would be back next week sometime.
Oh, bless.
Unless something terrible happens in the time being.
But Kumar was shut down, right?
I believe so, right?
Yeah, because he just that just kind of was a little bit under the radar with everything in my view, I guess. But
they auctioned him to the minors 3 days ago.
Okay.
All right,
yeah,
and
to enjoy growing up a little bit.
Pretty much just don't stress out, just get better.
Also, gentlemen, so this is the wild card standings right now. You have Boston in the first spot, New York in that second spot, and then we're just you're essentially just competing with the Mariners in terms of just for that 3rd slot in terms of who we have to jump, right? Still got to keep
literally you just need the
Cleveland
Mariners to really. Well, the Mariners, I guess, have been fine, but they're on a 4-game win streak, which is unfortunate.
The way it's lined up right now is the 3 AL West teams are competing for the last 2 playoff spots, be it the division winner of the AL West or that last wild card spot. And then whoever of the two of those 3 make it through, they're going to play each other immediately to start the playoffs.
Houston significantly slumping is also a bigger part of this. 3-7 in the last 10. I really thought Houston had pulled away here at one point. And, they're not at all.
They're kind of trying to figure it out just like we are. They're just coming from a different angle of it than we are.
Well, it seems Seattle sort of start to, dovetail a bit, and that as the Rangers started to get more competence, I was like, oh, okay. But then I never really ever entertained the opportunity to win the division, and so now for people to say that it's within, it still feels a bit distant. But if it's still within a grasp,
we literally have more games with Houston than we are behind them in the standings, so we could just take those.
I want to believe.
I'm just saying, like it's still way closer within the realm. It's even more than within the realm of possibility. It's very
You said we're done with the
likely.
Submariners, though, right?
Yeah, we do not play them anymore. We've got the Mets, the Astros, the Twins, the Guardians. Is there one more team left in there?
I mean, there's just under a month, right? Or does the regular season? Does it actually end in September?
Yes, the regular season will end in September. Our last game is on the 28th against Cleveland. I forgot Okay, we have 3 against Miami also in there. So we have Mets, Astros, Marlins, Twins, Guardians. So Guardians, decent. Mets, not the 2 NL teams don't have good records, but they're not like the Rockies, you know.
Honestly, I don't know that I really can feel like there's a big difference in baseball since there's like, I mean, I know there is, but sometimes just as a stupid fan, I'm like, like Merrill Kelly got taken yard back to back and the Rangers won this game. You know what I mean? Baseball is kind of funny in that way. So it's one of those things.
I mean, you see that a lot in football. Someone goes up 14-0. It doesn't mean a whole
lot.
But
the confidence of like who does it, who doesn't. I guess the thing with the Brewers is the way this series jostled back and forth. That usually shows if it's a good team or bad team thing. If you just
they got. I mean, they out hit us. They out hit us something like 28-19 over the 3 games. But we won all 3 games.
It's beautiful.
Just things breaking the right way. You know those line drives at the beginning of the year where every single line drive we hit went right to a fielder. That's how all of theirs were. For the last couple of days, including Jake Berger making a cool defensive play to finish off tonight's game or today's game or whatever.
You're right. That's the last thing I feel like long term. I'm good with Jake Berger at first.
If you can just recreate what he did today every day, 2 home runs.
I mean, yes, today was an exceptional day, but it's been really good for most of it. I would say, if you can't do the most super fantastical George Steinbrenner bullshit and get me Pete Alonso, then I'm happy with the bargain bin here and high value, but sometimes slumpy, big fat white baseball guy.
I'm discussing this year just a little bit more. Jack Leiter threw very well last night. I was almost very mad at Bochy for not taking him out because he lost the chance at the win because they started rocking him and we didn't get him out fast enough. Yeah. Which included some good defense, but then led to runs.
And maybe a bit on the relief pitching. I guess that's notable.
I mean, Hobie Milner looks really good all of a sudden against the best team in baseball, so that's nice.
10 straight retired batters for Robert Garcia.
Robert Garcia is looking like he can come out of the pen. I think there's still a big question as to who you actually think your closer is. Armstrong's been doing it a little bit, but
Armstrong he got that. I watched the highlights of that.
Chris
on YouTube,
Martin's kind of in there,
funny.
but I think he blew a game the other night.
He did blow a game, yeah. Coldplay. I actually had forgotten about Coldplay entirely until I saw the box score, and I was like,
another weird thing. Jack Leiter and Merrill Kelly both have these like lo-fi SoundCloud rapper intros that are like just not pumping anyone up to play baseball or to watch baseball.
Maybe that's a good thing about a pitcher though. It's a different mentality. So maybe they need to play some Beethoven to get them.
Kelly might need to change it up after whatever his start was today.
Well, I mean, statistically, he's been pretty good as a Ranger, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's a great.
He's the third pitcher. Potato, right? Or
your best pitchers are the guys who are going to give up runs early and then immediately just lock the rest of it down. So
is he game 3 in a 4-game series?
Yeah,
in the best situation,
I would think. So. Is he not 2 right now?
I might give Jack the shot.
I think you let the
Come on, bro. I gotta let Jack. Let Jack grow up.
It probably also depends on in a 7-game series. Are you home first or away first? You probably want Jack at home. You probably don't want to throw Jack in Seattle.
And it's in the actual answer is that it's Bochy, so it'll be Lats game 2.
He'll have Jacob deGrom game 1, and then Jacob Gajram day 2, and then so things are looking pretty good for the boys. Even if they somehow don't pull it all the way off, they've at least made this a fun season to watch. When at moments it did not seem like it could be.
At the bare minimum, it feels like we're officially in the Wyatt Langford era. There's no like set like kind of oh shit is he moving? Is he progressing slowly? No, we got a guy. We got one of the guys. Hopefully Corey's back again to be a guy for a full season.
The Josh Smith Wyatt Langford era.
That's true. I mean, Josh can't go anywhere, but I don't know his free agency situation. I don't know his contract situation. I don't feel like they would.
I think he's one of the 800 people who are getting in pre-arbitration this year. So he's on the team next year. So
Josh Smith feels like a guy that teams should be trying to steal from us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder. I think he's the utility guy that we would likely pay because he does play every day. He's not like a filling guy.
I would be hard. It would almost be as stupid as you could. Like, I don't know enough about it. I don't pretend to, but holy shit, that guy is always playing different positions. He's usually always productive.
I mean, that's why I loved Isaiah Kiner-Falefa for so long.
Yeah.
Was his actual versatility. Now Josh Smith doesn't catch, but that's probably better for him long term.
We might have to replace one of the catchers, but we also have one catcher that's like, all right, this guy.
I was gonna say both of them were. I think this is a great tandem to have. I think it was a great idea bringing.
I think Heim's defensiveness is good enough to deal with,
and he still just randomly just clutch as hell with the bat. So
I mean, if he's not that expensive, right? Relatively to the position.
No, I mean, obviously that's another question is what would someone else pay either of these guys? But I think it's worked a lot better this year than what we saw last year. Cutting Heim's time back a little bit seems to have worked well. That'll probably wrap
Josh
up.
Young seems decent. Like there's not a whole fall off a cliff thing. I mean, it's not what it was.
I do wonder how long he plays third base. I don't know what the future of that is. I don't think he's especially great at it.
Yeah, I've always
really well. So DH first base could be in his future.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would like to see him still be our guy forever, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we.
I mean, I think he'd be here. I think it's just he wouldn't necessarily like you might on the chance that Walcott gets called up in the next year or two, you might see someone have to get out of position. So Young would probably be the first one outside. They're not moving Seager and Simeon.
Yeah.
And Alejandro Osuna, I just want to mention him just because he's been playing. There was a funny moment during the national anthem yesterday where they're going down the Rangers line, and he's one of the last ones. And obviously, hat off for the anthem. He's just wearing his Mexican flag bandana really big. And then they do another camera angle that cuts to him, but they keep it from here down.
Oh my God!
I don't think that it was on purpose. I think it was just a funny coincidence.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't think the cameramen are really
too
worried about.
They're the ones specifically getting, that's where their paycheck is being signed for,
Yeah, but there's a little bit of like, I'm just, I'm shooting the thing I'm supposed to shoot. What do you want from me? But that was a little bit funny. Today was Dollar Dog Day. Haven't been to one of those in a couple years, so that's always fun.
Nice. And you got the roof. You got the roof. The
roof
top
was
off.
Open yesterday for the first time for me ever. That was a really cool experience. It's awesome in there like that.
Yeah, it actually does make you reconsider a lot of the negatives of the ballpark when you realize this is beautiful, but then it's also like humbling because you're like, well, shit, and this is the reason we have the roof, though, is the hots.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it because we don't have just too much more time to waste on this, but the in-game presentation somehow has gotten worse since the last time I've been there. I'll just say that.
I don't ever expect it to get better.
But yeah, we'll hop off baseball next week. We'll give you another little breakdown on where we're at. I can't imagine we'll play ourselves out of it in 7 days, but we'll see.
Yep.
But with that, I'm gonna pass this rock on to Bethke for some hoops.
Hoop-diddy hoops.
We weren't going to talk about the National Basketball Association, although we're getting very close.
And Adam Silver decided to do his Rob Manfred impression.
Well, the issue is a little on me because I did know this was coming because this happens every year. And
his State of the Union, basically.
Essentially. And it's because of the Board of Governors is meeting together, I believe. But I was also listening to a lot of people talk about the Clippers stuff. Zach Lowe in particular mentioned this a week ago. So I had known about it, but kind of forgot about it. Either way, this is typically a time for them to announce things, and they announced two things. Well, one thing was announced, another few things were talked about. The funniest line, I don't think I have it pulled up. I don't know if you actually care about it being super accurate, but it was paraphrasing. He basically called the NBA a highlight league, and he wasn't concerned with people not being able to afford all the packages necessary to watch every game that they want to.
Very on brand for him.
It reminds me of when Rob Manfred, when people kept asking about the Astros cheating and the World Series and their title, and he just said, it's just a piece of metal. This feels like it's on par with that. Slap in the face to everyone who plays the game.
Yeah.
They're not playing for highlights. Slap in the face to the people watching who actually want to watch your games. And a slap in the face to the people who give you the most money, your advertisers who need people to watch games to see the advertisements. So,
well, I think they would rebut that one with the advertisers also make a good amount of scratchola off the highlights that they sell. And he is probably right in the extent that they profit off the most highlights in ways. And I'm sure that they've figured out ways to do that with just as simple as having YouTube, having all your social media stuff. They do post a lot with their content. So, it does make a lot of sense. There was a tweet.
Well, I mean, that's kind of self-fulfilling, though, is
put
they're the ones who choose to not give you more. They could give you more of a context of a game and a highlight package. I
disagree.
Things, but they think it's easier just to sell you on 3 players over and over than try to sell you on the full league.
I agree, but I also disagree because I think that we've seen a lot of evidence that people do not, sports fans in particular, do not seem to care. Average sports fan, not necessarily some asshole who's got this many books about basketball.
People who do podcasts for 3 years for no reason, and
people who have all the kinds of time. I'm saying that I don't think people care about strategy of basketball, and I think people care about winning, but I don't think that since there's so much to go on about of why the regular season is only so meaningful, it does mean that if you do love basketball, then you probably know that the playoffs are really where you're caring about that stuff more. So yeah, during the regular season, even you become also a part of the highlight mill because there's so much content there that it is a little too much to actually handle for any one person, which is always funny whenever you see these guys try to be like, I crushed the most film. And it's like, how much do you really need to watch the Charlotte Bobcats in a season to know what's happening there and to tell people about it?
I mean, if you want to be able to say who might be a good fit somewhere else.
No, and that's something you can still do to some extent, but you can almost just know what a player is and then keep up with the statistics just like you would in another sport. So I think for Adam, he was right, but he was a dumb motherfucker for saying it the way he said it. like that would be a diss if it came from any other commissioner, rival league. So pretty crazy self-hone there for Mr. Silver. And it's got me thinking maybe the Clippers situation is more hectic behind the scenes. He said he didn't even know what Ascension was, which I find that even harder to believe. Aspiration. Yeah.
Just making sure.
No.
I find that even harder to believe because they were literally like, they had a nameplate on the back of the Clippers chairs. The Intuit Dome was like the thing the NBA would like. He was all over that opening because it's one of the most luxurious arenas in all of sports, and the guy paid for it himself. It's like one of the biggest arena stories we'll ever have. So how could you not have known that?
Somebody else just today announced they were doing a private. The Broncos have a football, but they've got a privately funded stadium coming.
I did see that. So, like I said, I mean, these are the things we want, right? I think that he ended up kind of putting himself in a stupid position. Not surprised. I think for Adam, he's used to putting his foot in his mouth a little bit. His
entire role is to be a lightning rod. So
yeah, and he also really doesn't give a shit. Like he's been moving like this. He is like,
bitch, back on my planet.
Like he's not like David Stern in the same manners, but he's a lot like David Stern in the same way of you can't tell him nothing. Like those two things I do think they share very well in common because, like you said, he's really a mouthpiece for more or less 30 individuals, very rich individuals. And then the final thing we need to talk about with the men's, the MNBA, as it's called. Yeah, the M. shot chucking is back on the menu, boys. Have you heard?
Okay.
Please do tell.
I mean,
I'm
yes, but
I'm excited for this. It's probably the dumbest thing the NBA's done, but it's a funny dumb, not a stupid one like what Adam Silver just did. This is changing the statistical nature in which we score the game by not. I don't know the specifics. If you want to specifically look up all the exact wording,
because I was like, I don't know,
but
I didn't quite see the full.
I believe it's only like within 5 seconds or 10 seconds left in the half or of the period rather. So even in the first quarter, people can throw up heaves and it will go as a missed shot to the team, but not the player. So now we got free shots, basically, is what's happening.
I don't know that we got any. Okay.
Shams
NBA will
tweeted
tell
some
all
stuff
teams
about
that any shot taken within the final 3 seconds, of the first 3 quarters
First 3
and
only.
is launched from at least 36 feet away.
Right. That makes
on
sense.
any play that starts in the backcourt,
Mhm.
which I don't think you could get over there if the play didn't start there. But
right.
I guess you could steal it and throw it.
Yeah, that would be. I don't. They're gonna probably worry about that if it ever happens.
But yeah, this feels like one of those things that doesn't change anything for anybody.
It does change some funny things because now we're going to see more of these attempts, which is good because essentially people are blaming this on Dante Exum because he didn't take a heave shot in the finals.
I feel like I still see a ton of heave shots being taken. Like I don't feel like it's really deterring that many people.
Feel that.
I think that you would be surprised how many guys actually in a given season won't do it.
Well, my guess is they wouldn't let those guys get the inbound then. You would be giving it to someone else.
Again, which is, and let me just,
maybe that improves your shots, maybe.
Without calling any names out, this is very often one of 2 categories.
Well, it's the guys who don't want to be in the dunk contest, the guys who would never want to play one-on-one in public.
No. You're thinking differently here. You're thinking number 1 guy, it's a star. Just generic star, could be anybody. Nobody's really above this to some extent. I mean, some guys probably don't give a shit. Anthony Edwards probably doesn't give a shit. But like those guys don't typically want to fuck with their percentage because like they know long term, like they know how their stats are going to be looked at forever, or even in the moment
for the next contract. Yeah.
But their contract means a little bit less on it. But then the second category of guy is your 3-point specialist, for instance, who doesn't want to see his percentage impacted by this heave because that does maybe change how much he gets paid in the offseason. So those are the 2 culprits that are the biggest. And I think this will help. You're right to the extent that it will be subtle, but at the end of the day, I do think this will fix a few little goofy things.
If you block one of these heaves, do you get a block or is it a team block?
You still get a block.
Does everyone on the team get a block?
No, you just one player gets the block.
Yeah, it would be funny in like an alternate universe where they just like can't undo it and they did this thing, hit enter, the rules changed. And then the missed shot counts 1 missed shot for each person on the team instead of just
honestly, that would be funny too. Oh, the guys that don't even play just end 0-1.
Yeah, 0 minutes, did not play.
So yeah, I think that the statisticians, I'm interested to hear their opinion if anyone's going to ask it. I do want to know that. I'm sure there's some nerds on the internet who are probably.
Do you get credit if you make it?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course you would, right? You would get credit for the makes,
but not for the miss.
This is gonna be old man yelling at cloud for me. What a dumb thing.
Exactly. That's why I said it's dumb, but it's funny dumb. This is really not that consequential, but it's very funny that they decided to do it. Yeah, and that's the M. As for the dub, we're about to head into the playoff run here. Before we get to the playoff run, we need to
talk about someone who's not going to be in the playoffs.
Well, more or less, we need to go ahead and get this out of the way. Which one was this one? Yeah, this is a tough one. We got Pagey Buckets here. Is that better? Yeah, it's better.
You want to unmute? Oh, never mind.
As their coach draws up the play. It's been a tough season. It's a pretty great out of context.
What is that music?
I don't know, man. This is just how people on the internet do their thing. Where is the button that makes it easy? There it is. Yeah, so the Dallas Wings now are the losingest team in the regular season. Just for one season, they are now the most losing team in the WNBA history, and they have the lowest winning percentage in WNBA history.
Hell yeah!
So that's something. That is the year in review for the Dallas Wings.
So we get another first pick.
I mean, you could look at it that way. Let me actually pull up the Dubs standings because I think that we're last, but I'm trying to remember. And they also have to bring in some expansion teams, but I think the expansion teams get bumped to like third or fifth. I don't know if they get the same odds.
They don't do a full-on expansion draft separately from.
I don't think so. Actually, I'm just going to spitball some stuff, and if we get hot take, that's fine. That's great, in fact. The Sky are currently the 12th worst team. The Connecticut Sun, the 11th worst, right? 13 total right now. There will be 2 expanded. Like I said, I don't know how that impacts the odds, but there will be 2 more teams added next year. Sky are having some issues right now with Angel Reese. I wouldn't hate it necessarily. I mean, look, if you have the first pick, it's tough to make the move. But if the Chicago Sky are interested in the Dallas Wings pick, we've stolen some of their picks in the past on bad trades. Maybe Angel Reese would be an interesting partner.
Dallas has a 40% chance at the number 1 overall pick.
It'd be hard to see them getting it again. And then we have this issue with the Connecticut Sun where it's like, are they going to be still in Connecticut? Are they going to be in Boston? Are they going to be in Houston? Like, there's kind of a lot of chaos with the future of the Sun, and that almost makes you wonder if they're going to act nefarious.
Their first-round pick has been given away to Chicago, and they got Phoenix's, so they're not getting a good pick.
No. And so there you go, Chicago Sky. But Sky's still on their own pick, right? Can you tell from where you're looking at?
Nope, Minnesota owns that one.
Yeah, oh my God. The trades
It's
are
Dallas,
Minnesota,
bro. Seattle, Washington, Chicago.
That's insane because Minnesota's is going to absolutely run away with the title this year. But before we get into the playoffs, and way before we get into the worrying about the draft, Caitlin Clark has been shut down officially. I believe this makes the 5th player for the Fever to be shut down for the season. Interesting for all the audiences and interesting for the fan base and all the arguments that have been had.
Maybe you shouldn't have named your team after an illness.
I mean, there is some stuff there, but it does look very ABA throwback. I like the Indiana Fever merch.
And then just for reference, Toronto and Portland will pick right after the lottery. So they get 6th.
That's what it is. Okay. I like that, but I know that that's usually how it goes. Expansion teams aren't awarded into that lottery stake
unless you're Vegas,
right? Well, I guess the NHL decided to buck the trend.
It was a little different. They didn't just hand them a million great picks. The other teams also helped them get good.
So yeah, the Fever are probably done, even though they're likely to. I mean, they're definitely going to be in the playoffs. We already know all 8 teams that will be in the WNBA playoffs. Projected at the moment to be Lynx versus Storm. I think the Lynx are incredible, but the Storm are a veteran squad for the most part. So I do think that's an interesting first-round matchup. Aces versus the Valkyries. Interesting to see the Valkyries here with their first season in the W. But the Aces are probably going to be able to feast on that pretty easily. They're an older team. Don't know if they still have the top end, but that's a former dynasty. Atlanta Dream versus the Indiana Fever potentially. Like I said, Atlanta could even be number 2 if they do stay at 3. The Fever are probably going to get dog walked by whoever because they're so damn injured. And then the Mercury and the Libs. Mercury have revamped their team quite a bit. Satu Sabali, former Dallas Wing, playing hell of a great season. Liberty had been really hurt, but they were the defending champions, and obviously that could be a flip of the switch. Probably Lynx versus Liberty if it's just the 2 best teams competing this year. But I don't know how the bracket actually shapes up, and we won't know until the end of Thursday night, the end of the night that we're recording for our celebration of 9/11. That there's one game on tonight, and I think there's 4 or 5 tomorrow. Like I said, only
classic 9/11 tradition.
Classic 9/11 tradition of
Watching
the
W.
Yeah, and so at this point, seeding is all that matters, and we'll cover the playoffs as they go. But we can't really project much because technically none of these. Basically, we know the Lynx for one. We know the Lynx for one.
How are there 2 teams in that league with 10-game losing streaks at the same time?
That's amazing, dude. I honestly was stunned that this Wings team was the first one to set the record. I thought
think
we'd
in
seen
10
worse.
games you'd play every other team, but I guess that's not how it works.
No. Well, I guess you still could, but
well, they couldn't both have 10-game losing streaks then.
Yeah, I guess it's true. They just come together for the last game.
So someone doesn't have to end on a 14-game losing streak or whatever.
Yeah, is that how bad the Wings is right now?
10. They're both at 10. It's the Wings and someone else in the
Wings
lottery.
and Mystics, right? And the Mystics are a decent franchise. We'll see what the future is for them. They might have to make some decisions. They were supposed to be better this season for sure. LA Sparks also supposed to be a little bit better, but they got one of their star players back from injury like mid-season or later in the season. So I don't know. Weird year for the W, but everybody seems to still be watching. The dildos have stopped getting onto the court.
This is the year of Minnesota sports. It's going to start with the Lynx.
Oh yeah, man! The Lynx got robbed so hard of from last year's finals, and they're so goddamn good. And Nafisa Collier is an incredible basketball player. So it's Maya Moore just got put into the Hall of Fame along with Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony and some others. I think Michael Redd also was a part of that.
Was he on the Redeem team or something?
Michael Redd would also have a gold medal for the Redeem team
because they all just got in.
Oh, then that's what it is. Yeah. Then
I was
Michael
like,
Redd got in with the Redeem
college because I don't remember.
Yeah, honestly, that makes sense. Yeah, Michael Redd did go in with the Redeem team. That's so funny. I didn't even realize that that's why LeBron had the jacket. I thought LeBron had the jacket because it was the 25th anniversary.
They were just like, he's never going to retire. Get him in there now.
No. I saw that. I didn't realize they put the Redeem team in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a lot of people were upset because the Argentina team that won the gold isn't in, but
I mean, Manu's in, right?
Well, but they didn't put the team in, which
Manu's in.
That's what matters.
Every single one of those guys deserves to be in. The way we talk about freaking 1980s USA versus Russia hockey, like that's what that basketball game is.
But in American basketball standards, we don't really care, and we're so arrogant about it that we only want to give credit to Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, I don't know who's in charge of the Hall of Fame. I know it's not the NBA themselves, but
no, it's just a Naismith committee that's probably made up of a lot of people like Peter Vesely,
internationally friendly, but maybe not.
They probably could be, but I mean, ultimately, like I don't think they care enough, and maybe that's wrong, but that they appeal to the Americans. We know this, and Manu passed the American test because he was a part of a dynasty and played for 20 years.
I done see him kill a bat in the arena.
I mean, honestly, though, right?
With his bare hands.
I think that's what they feel suffices is telling Argentina's story, which is bullshit. But I don't know. I don't know if there's enough money from the Naismith Hall.
Oberto and Thiago Splitter.
I don't think Splitter was on that team.
Thiago Splitter, Brazilian.
He's a Brazilian.
You just called him a slur, sir, by calling him Argentinian.
Oh, true.
I got the continent right at least.
Yeah, I think Oberto and Manu were the only NBA guys.
That would probably check out.
But I could be wrong. There might be another sneaky candidate.
If it was, it's probably something I don't even know about.
Right, probably
having played in the NBA, it would just happen to be on a roster or something.
Guy who had a cup of coffee.
What about Carlos Delfino? That sounds
like right.
Scola. That sounds like a name.
Scola was on that group. Yeah, actually, both of those. Yeah, Scola. Scola would be more than
a bunch of guys who I don't think I've ever heard of.
Yeah, Scola is more important than Oberto to them. You're right.
Says you.
Oh no. Scola was definitely more important to that.
But he didn't have 2 rings.
Fair.
All right. Any other basketball related news before we move into the world of amateur sports?
Nope.
Sweet.
The basketball rest.
This is Past the Rock.